Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is RemovableSanity and today I'm reviewing Payday 3 on the Series X, developed by Starbreeze Studios and published by Deep Silver. So what is Payday 3? Payday 3 is a 4-player co-op first-person experience and a third installment in the Payday franchise that's about perfectly planned and executed heists. The premise is you take control of the Payday gang, a group of individuals who step out of retirement back into the life of crime. Several years after the crew's reign of terror over Washington DC has ended, they assemble once again to deal with the threat that roused them out of early retirement. The game boasts full cross-platform support, 17 classes with 21 skill points, 639 heist challenges to complete, and 8 heist locations in which to explore and find the best solution to extract the most cash. First up is accessibility. With regards to accessibility, there is a great selection of options available for those looking to enjoy the game who have a variety of issues. These range from field of view, colorblind modes, subtitle sizes, crosshair sizes, hit indicators, crouch, target and switch weapon options, and customizable bindings. It's good to see and one I hope that more developers take note of. Next is gameplay. Being a complete noob to the Payday franchise, I was intrigued to see what a few of my friends who have played the second one was interested in. Luckily for me and all other new players, you don't really need to understand the previous titles to enjoy this one or understand the story. The gameplay seemed simple enough, with you going through various heists, stealing from a number of wealthy corps or individuals. You scout out your surroundings and from there choose a way to go in, either stealthily or guns blazing, while stealing as much loot as possible before escaping, before or during the cops/private security attempts to stop you. However, things get more complex with side quests and a vast number of ways to complete said heists being added. To begin the game, you will need to create a Nebula account, something I'm never a fan of, and it would be better if this practice was removed entirely. From there, you enter the startup screen and get to set up your character, their equipment, skills, when you unlock some, and any visual tweaks to personalize your robber. You get to choose from 6 characters, 4 returning from the previous games, and more being mentioned for DLC. Here you can also choose which order of preference you like, should when you enter a match someone already has chosen your favourite. There is an option to do the tutorials, and I recommend you do, as if you're an idiot like me, you enter a match and literally have no idea how to play the game. Take your time, as they do a good job of explaining what buttons do what and when, and how the main fundamentals work. Once done, it's time to choose a heist, and this is where things take an unexpected turn. From the moment you click the heist option, the game's UI has a horrendous lag. Your button press will not be registered for about 2 to 5 seconds, and any subsequent presses will mean those clicks will be remembered on the heist screen, causing a number of frustrating problems. You'll end up like I did in a battle of going back and forth between heist and hub screens just to pick a heist, because you were too eager to press start. Once you finally get round to the heist screen, it will appear with 8 separate heists with cutscenes in between. You can not unlock these unless you have completed the prior heists. You pick a heist and are taken to another screen to choose how you wish to play. Payday 3 supports public, friends-only and invite-only options. To play with your friends, however, you will first have to team up. This has to be done prior to your heist choice at the main hub area, and is done by pressing the button near the bottom of the screen that says Social. This then will bring up a few of your friends lists for you to see, including those players you have blocked. One note, do not try restarting a match with a group of friends, as at the moment it will kick them out and only you will continue forward. Once your option has been selected, it's straight into the chosen heist. Well, it was prior to launch and is again right now, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the hellish launch. You see, from the moment it launched, server access was crashing and pretty much unplayable for a week. Thankfully, this seems to have been resolved, but has left a sour taste in a number of gamers' mouths. This is mostly because the game no longer supports offline mode like Payday 2, so players couldn't even use the game's bots to play with. For some reason, even with no players and only bots, you still go through servers to access them, which is another cause of frustration. Once you do get through, however, this is where the game comes to life and I can see its appeal. You start off in the casing stage where you can freely walk around the public area you're about to rob to check for easy exits, cameras and holdout zones if the ability becomes a shootout. Whilst casing the joint, you're also given optional tasks ranging from stealing keycards for accessing the building's security systems to cracking computers to get relevant codes. These task items also change every time you enter a heist, with keycards or codes being moved around in the arena, ensuring nothing is identical each time you play. All the heists have multi-layered tasks that must be completed in order to get away clean and undetected. This in turn makes these sections feel like Hitman but in a first-person mode and are truly nerve-wracking. To help with this, the buildings themselves have a set number of different area types that each have a unique level of security depending on where you are. Private areas, if spotted, the guards won't shoot you on sight. They'll escort you out of the private areas as long as you're compliant with their demands. Civilians in these areas are not all mindless NPCs, and they will report suspicious behaviour like cutting open a window or finding a tied up guard, so be aware of your surroundings is paramount. Secure areas, however, you will need full stealth to get through, and if any camera or guards spot you, the alert is sounded, you're fired upon, and it moves into the game's assault phase. When this happens, the game then switches from Hitman to John Wick in a matter of moments, and things get hectic real quick. It's all hands to the deck to ensure your tasks are done before swathes of police run in to take you out. The tasks are also changed up a bit in the action phase, like grabbing thermite to melt through the vault doors or floor, drills to open safe, and grabbing zip lines to move loot quicker. Whilst doing this, you're attacked at every corner from police, whose numbers come in harder and harder waves. You can't just survive it out either, you need to complete the task in order to complete the heist, or at least die trying. The fact you can go full stealth or action does wonders for the game, and even if a friend does mess up your stealth run, the fun of the action phase is so adrenaline pumping that you won't be annoyed. Thankfully, during this action phase, you will have some skills to make things more manageable and up the survivability. Skills define your playstyle and come in 3 traits: Edge, Grit and Rush. Edge gives you a slight damage buff, whilst Grit lowers the damage you take, and Rush allows you to run slightly faster. To do this, Payday 3 provides you with skill lines, which allow for mixing and matching perks when deciding on your build, and at the end of these lines are master perks. These provide another set of benefits from that skill line, but unlike the perks in a skill line, once unlocked, they don't require the starter perk to use, which is handy when skills points are limited. To unlock a skill line, you need to research it, and once the starter skill becomes unlocked, you can spend a skill point to use it. For example, if you research the engineer line, you unlock the turret starter skill, which you must then assign a skill point to activate it. Once done, as you progress with the heist, you will gain skill XP in that activated line, which then is used to unlock other perks automatically. The individual perks in that line will vary from extra buffs to alternative uses, but like the starter skill, can only be used by activating it with a skill point. You will soon have varying lines activated at once, allowing for quick progression and more choices the more you play. Alongside skill lines are infamy levels, which are equally as important, as these unlock new weapons, but more importantly, unlock skill points. Skill points you see are earned every 3 infamy levels and are currently maxed out at 150, so amassing infamy points as quickly as possible is key to getting the biggest perk options to you available. But to ensure these aren't just grinded out, you'll notice that you won't get awarded infamy points for just doing multiple heists. To earn them, you must complete challenges like heist challenges and combat challenges. Heist challenges can range from finishing a heist a number of different times on higher difficulties, while combat challenges opt for kill-based tasks like defeating a number of snipers with a specific weapon. All this makes for an addictive, thrilling gameplay loop that is only heightened by playing with friends. However, being a newbie to the franchise, I did ask friends to give me some insights on their experiences from playing previous titles. The consensus was this outing was a bit more bare bones than Payday 2, with less heists, less powerful perks, and some gameplay mechanic tweaks changed for the worse. Now, I can only go from my experience, but if you're a previous Payday fan, you may wish to take their concerns more to heart. If you're a newbie and like me, you may find this is not so much of an issue and happy to wait for these elements to be implemented as you get to grips with the game. Next is graphics. When it comes to the graphics of the games, the visuals are great, though looking back at Payday 2's visuals, nothing has changed too dramatically, it seems. Explosions, interior design, lighting all shine with some levels outdoing others depending on the lighting available. Being able to appreciate the work that went into these during the scouting phase is a godsend and really helped me uncover some lovely secrets when doing so. Levels are huge, even in the smaller maps, and allow for multiple ways of executing a heist strategically. The heists themselves are of a decent variety, but could easily do with a good 3 or 4 more heists to ensure it doesn't feel a bit too barren. Accessing said heists doesn't help, as they are surrounded with cutscenes made up of static images and voiceovers to deliver the story. Whilst nice, it feels a bit cheap and rushed in how it tells said story, and was one element I pretty much ignored regardless of unlocking them. When it comes to customizing, however, the options available are great, as you've got pistols, shotguns, assault rifles and SMGs all waiting to be unlocked. Combine this with stickers, masks, clothing and a variety of colour options, you can customize pretty much everything. It's a shame it's locked into the game's leveling system, which in turn is locked into the challenge system. This would have been better just left for cash purchases rather than being forced to grind heavily at higher levels. As mentioned earlier, the UI, whilst clean, seems to have lost a bit of its functionality and has some of the worst lag when simply transitioning to playing said game that I have ever seen. Clearly it needs some patching and tweaking, and I hope this is updated quicker rather than later. Finally, sound. When it comes to the soundtrack, I actually found the music to be a bit dulled in its scores, with some of the action ones failing to generate that much needed enthusiasm as you fend off the police attacks. The chaos around would be ideal for some heavy rock or metal, but instead is a bit more subtle tones, which is contrary to the game's action phases.
Hostage rescue is on the scene. That's 8 bags. That's 9.
There is voice acting in the game, and while serviceable, for me at least, it didn't give me any enthusiasm to keep track of what they were saying. However, I will say for Ice Cube's delivery, this is the exception, as it really does elevate the game, even with a story that isn't exactly thrilling.
Here's the deal. The components are kept in high security cooling containers somewhere in the storage yard. We don't know where, so you need to figure that shit out when you get there. But first you need to prepare a refrigerated transport. The clock starts ticking.
However, the weapons, explosions and general AI sounds are good and punchy when the chaos ensues. But there does seem to be some sort of mixing issues, as I found that gun sounds can deafen out characters' dialogue, which can be crucial if you need to hear what task is up next. My recommendation here is a good quality headset, as this seems to resolve a lot of the sound mixing issues for some reason. And this leads me onto the rating of the game. Now, I rate games in order of avoid, on sale, great purchase and must own. My rating for Payday 3 is on sale. When you're finally in a game, it is fun as hell to play and doubles its fun factor with friends. However, there is only a small amount of heists available and has a horrendously clunky UI that makes getting into said heists a chore. No offline option and semi-functioning friends mode only further adds to the frustrations. The game is currently priced on Xbox at £34.99 or approximately $40, and depending on your skill and patience would give you about 30 plus hours worth of gameplay. Due to number of unlockable skills, weapons and costumes, this could add another 10 plus hours. It is also currently free for you on Xbox Game Pass should you wish to see if this is worth your time. This is one of those games that without a doubt will get better with time, and the enjoyment factor will only get better as well. But that's then, not now. So in my opinion, try on Game Pass and wait till more elements and updates have been added before spending your cash. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I do hope you like this review, and if you do, please like, share and subscribe if you so wish. And if you would like to put some notes or even just a comment in the comment section, I do like reading them. Anyway, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you all again soon.